Today, I want to talk about the transformative potential of self-driving cars and how they can significantly improve our daily traffic conditions. One of the most compelling benefits of autonomous vehicles is their ability to enhance traffic flow. Self-driving cars are equipped with advanced algorithms that enable them to communicate with one another and with traffic management systems in real time. This communication allows for smoother acceleration and deceleration patterns, reducing stop-and-go traffic. Imagine a scenario where cars can just adjust their speeds to maintain optimal distance from one another, effectively creating a plane tuning effect. This not only minimizes congestion, but also maximizes road capacity, allowing more vehicles to travel efficiently and at the same time. Imagine a world where traffic accidents are nearly eliminated, commutes are more efficient, and the urban landscapes are transformed into greener, more pedestrian-friendly spaces. This is the promise of self-driving cars, which can hold the potential to revolutionize our transportation system. Advocates argue that by embracing autonomous vehicles, we can significantly reduce the number of fatalities caused by human error, responsible for over 90% of traffic accidents, while also altering congestion through optimized traffic flow. Moreover, self-driving cars can promote greater accessibility for individuals who cannot drive, including the elderly and disabled, fostering inclusivity in mobility. As we stand on the brink of this technological revolution, it becomes increasingly clear that self-driving cars are not just a convenience, but are a necessity for a safer, more efficient, and sustainable future.
Imagine sitting in the back of the seat of the car with no one at the wheel. The vehicle is moving through traffic, making decisions on its own, with only sensors and algorithms guiding it past. It may sound like a glimpse into the future, or even a dream come true, but for many it sparks an uneasy question: how reliable and safe are self-driving cars? Self-driving cars can promise better convenience, fewer traffic accidents, and more efficient travels. But despite these benefits, they come with deep safety and security concerns that are far from being resolved. That is why we believe self-driving cars are not safe enough to be used. One troubling ethical question is what a self-driving car should do in a life or death situation. Should it prioritize the life of a passenger or the pedestrian outside? In a split-second emergency, self-driving cars offer zero human instincts, only coded decisions. And who gets to code what that decision should be? Should it be the engineer who designed the car, or maybe the company that built it? These dilemmas challenge our ideas of responsibility and justice in ways we never had to consider before in transportation. Many of these safety concerns extend beyond just dilemmas. Self-driving cars also raise serious concerns about privacy and cybersecurity. These vehicles are constantly collecting data of where people go, how long they stay, and what routes to take, and even their habits and preferences. And true, while the information may help improve performance, it also opens the door to massive privacy violations if misused or stolen in the wrong hands. This data could be exploited for financial gains, and the results could be catastrophic, not just for the individual in the car, but everyone around them. With so much at stake, trust in self-driving cars hinges not just on how well they can drive, but on how well they can handle the serious ethical and security challenges. Until manufacturers can prove that these cars can make sound decisions and keep users' data safe from threats, public hesitation will continue. The technology may be impressive, but the road to widespread trust will be much longer and far more difficult. and as long as these security and ethical flaws remain unsolved, self-driving cars cannot be fully trusted with human life.
Self-driving cars are one of the most exciting developments in modern transportation, promising to revolutionize road safety, reduce traffic congestion, and make driving more accessible. Yet, as they become more common, an important question arises: are self-driving cars safe? Self-driving cars could significantly impact regular traffic conditions, potentially reducing congestion and improving flow through features like real-time traffic management, safer driving, and efficient use of road space. However, challenges like integration with human-driven vehicles and the potential for new forms of congestion need to be addressed for a smoother transition. Self-driving cars can be more environmentally friendly due to their potential for optimized driving behavior and route planning, which can reduce fuel consumption, and emissions. They can also contribute to a reduction in the number of vehicles on the road through improved efficiency and shared mobility options. The definition of autonomous vehicles or self-driving cars are likely to take over. Oh, that wasn't a definition. I'm sorry, that wasn't a definition. Vehicles or self-driving cars are likely to take over the global transportation sector. Despite this field being still very much in its infancy, there is no doubt among experts that an increasing amount of people will shift away from vehicles operating on fossil fuels to semi or fully autonomous vehicles. Once technologies take over the commercial markets, despite the many advantages that come with owning a driverless car, there are societal and environmental implications that cannot be ignored. We examine the pros and cons of self-driving cars to understand if they can represent a solution to the global transition to carbon neutrality. Self-driving cars promise enormous benefits, including greater road safety, increased mobility for people unable to drive themselves, more convenience for riders who will no longer be burdened with the driving task, a more efficient, less costly transportation system, in part by using fewer cars, and a smaller environment impact because of their smoother, more controlled eco-driving style compared to human drivers. According to National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, 392 crashes involving a vehicle equipped with Level 2 advanced driver assistance systems were reported on May 15, 2022. Level 2 refers to vehicles that control steering, acceleration, and deceleration. Thus, nearly 400 vehicles with partially automated driver technology were involved in an act.
Self-driving cars are one of the most exciting technologies in the world today. Many people hope they will make our roads safer and more efficient, but even with all their potential, a lot of people are still unsure about them, trusting cars that drive themselves, and much of that doubt comes from serious and ethical cybersecurity concerns. One of the biggest questions is what a self-driving car would do, or one of the biggest questions is what a self-driving car should do in an emergency. Imagine a situation where a car has been chosen, where a car has to choose between hitting a pedestrian or swerving and possibly crashing, which could hurt or even kill the passenger. This kind of situation does not have an easy answer. No matter what the car does, someone could get hurt. The real question becomes, who decides what the car should do? These are moral decisions that humans struggle with. And now we are asking machines to make that. That makes many people uncomfortable and unsure about whether they can trust self-driving cars in dangerous situations. Another big issue is privacy. Self-driving cars use cameras, GPS, and other tools to collect a lot of information. They know where you go, how fast you drive, and they even know how far you travel. They even know what kind of music you like. This information may help the car drive better, but can also put you at risk of different cybersecurity issues. If companies don't protect your data properly, it could be stolen or sold. Hackers can even break into your car system and cause serious accidents to steal your private information. Some experts say that technology used in self-driving cars has weaknesses that make it easy to hack. For example, someone could send fake signals to confuse the car's sensors and take remote control of the vehicle. If this were to happen, not only would it put your personal data at risk, and your life could be at danger too. This is a scary thought to many people and is one of the main reasons why they don't fully trust self-driving cars yet. In order for people to feel safe, car companies need to deal with one of these problems. They have to find clear answers and ethical questions and build strong protections for personal information. They also need to make sure that the cars are safe from hackers. Until they do, a lot of people will remain worried. No matter how advanced technology gets, trust is something that is not earned, especially when it is something as serious as the safety of people's lives.
Autonomous vehicles can reduce human errors for everyday drivers. Addressing one of the leading causes to traffic accidents by utilizing new sensors, cameras, and artificial intelligence. These vehicles can continuously monitor their surroundings, make split-second decisions, and react to potential hazards with a level of precision that surpasses human capabilities. Unlike human drivers, self-driving cars do not suffer from fatigue, distraction, or impaired judgment, which are the common factors contributing to accidents. Their ability to communicate with other vehicles and traffic systems can enhance overall road safety by optimizing traffic flow and reducing the likelihood of collisions. As these autonomous vehicles technologies evolve and become more integrated into our transportation systems, we can expect a substantial decrease in accidents caused by human error, leading to safer roads for everyone. Self-driving cars can have a positive impact on everyday driving by reducing human errors such as distracted driving. No impaired driving. They can't be under the influence or alcohol or drugs, eliminating a significant cause of fatal incidents. Their enhanced algorithms help them self-driving cars can use a variety of sensors, cameras, radar, lidar to create a comprehensive 360-degree view of their surroundings, exceeding human capabilities. Real-time data analysis. They can process this information in real time to identify potential hazards and react accordingly, including to pedestrians, cyclists, and other vehicles. Their improved accessibility helps the disabled and elderly get around to more places without needing help. Self-driving cars can also improve mobility for those who cannot drive. Self-driving cars can also optimize traffic flow and increase overall speeds on roadways through advanced technology. These autonomous vehicles are equipped with sophisticated sensors and artificial intelligence that enable them to communicate with one another. Self-driving cars can adjust their speeds and routes dynamically, reducing congestion caused by human error, such as a sudden braking or reckless driving. With the ability to maintain optimal distances from other vehicles and strictly to traffic regulations.
Self-driving cars are becoming more common, and many people think they're the future of transportation. But even with all the new technology, there are still serious problems. These cars aren't fully safe yet, and that's why we need to look closely at the risk they bring to roads. Let's start with the unpredictability of human drivers. We all know how chaotic and unpredictable driving can be. Think about it. Drivers who aren't paying attention, serving unpredictably, or making certain turns without signaling. Autonomous vehicles are programmed to follow traffic laws, but they struggle to adapt to the erratic behaviors of human drivers. For example, imagine a car cutting in front of a self-driving car. These cars might not react quickly enough to avoid a collision. Just last year, a cyclist was injured when they were hit by an autonomous vehicle, although the injuries were minor. This incident raised serious concerns about the safety of self-driving cars. In fact, Waymo, one of the leading companies in this field, reported over 130 crashes involving their autonomous vehicles in the last year alone. These incidents highlight a key issue. When a cyclist or a pedestrian is hidden behind something, the vehicle sensors can fail to detect them in time. Self-driving cars are designed to detect everything around them, but they can still miss crucial details when the situation becomes unpredictable. This unpredictability on the road is a major reason why self-driving cars are unsafe. If the sensors aren't reliable, then why trust it? Now let's look at another critical challenge: extreme weather conditions. Self-driving cars rely on sensors, radars, and cameras to navigate and understand their environment. But when bad weather strikes, like heavy rain, snow, or fog, these systems can struggle significantly. Imagine it's pouring rain, and the camera sensors on a self-driving car get blurred. Suddenly, the car can't see road signs or other cars clearly. In foggy conditions, visibility drops even more, making it hard for the vehicle to navigate safely. Snow can cover important signs and obstacles, rendering the sensors practically useless. These weather-related challenges aren't just minor issues; they pose real safety hazards. For instance, rain can increase the risk of hydroplaning, making it difficult for autonomous vehicles to make quick decisions. Even major companies like Waymo admits that bad weather can severely impact the reliability of their self-driving system. In summary, while self-driving cars promise a future of convenience, we must recognize the significant challenges they face, the unpredictability of the human drivers, and the difficulties posed by bad weather makes these vehicles unreliable and potentially unsafe to our roads. Thank you.
As Daniel said, self-driving cars need to rely on their sensors. But in bad weather, like heavy rain, thick fog, or snow, these tools don't work very well. The cameras can get blurry, radars can get confused, and sensors may not be able to detect things accurately. Well, this makes the car basically blind in dangerous situations, which is exactly when this makes the car basically blind in dangerous conditions, which is exactly when careful driving. If the vehicle can't see, it can't make the right decision. That's a serious safety problem we can't ignore.
Yes, like Chase said, driving is unpredictable, but only in a world of human error. Self-driving cars, trucks, and motorcycles possibly could cure the solution to human error on the road when there's a massive abundance of them. Self-driving cars can and will potentially be equipped with materials and features to combat and power through certain weather conditions, so the humans in the car don't have to worry as much about the self-driving car having errors. Because in order for the car to serve you logically, the company must equip the car with a bunch of features in order for their product to work. If you're giving a car that much power, You're giving the car that much power, the company must equip the car with a bunch of features that actually will make its product accessible. Yes, with self-driving cars are a higher risk of cybersecurity violation.
Save it for the close.
As Noah said, most of these self-driving cars has many features, but they are tested in calm, controlled places with perfect roads and clear weather. But real streets aren't like that. There are potholes, unexpected detours, aggressive drivers, and jaywalkers, and more. If a self-driving car is only treated in perfect situation, how can we expect to handle real traffic, which is often messy and unpredictable? That's like teaching someone to swim in a bathtub and then throwing them in the ocean.
Go ahead.
Self-driving cars can react much faster than humans, often within milliseconds, whereas human drivers may take seconds to react. For example, a self-driving car with the radar and LiDAR sensors can react as little as 0.5 seconds, compared to humans' average reaction time of 1.6 seconds when a child runs onto the road. Self-driving cars are also much safer than having to drive around yourself, with studies showing significant reductions in crash rates and injuries. One study found that Waymo's self-driving vehicles had an 85% reduction in crashes involving any injuries compared to human drivers.
It's only 8th hour. Nobody knows.
Yes, so self-driving cars are a higher risk of cybersecurity violation, and there are increased risks of hacking and manipulation of your personal property. But it's clearly the same as getting your phone or computer hacked. Companies can and most likely will take measures to ensure that hackers cannot access your car's information, or really like a car IP address. But possibly the only way your car can get hacked is if you leak your intellectual property info to a hacker, just like with phones and computers. Self-driving cars can only be dangerous if used in a world where they are not common, and around those who drive their own cars. In a world where there are only self-driving cars, the streets would be much safer and cause less traffic congestion and car accidents. Self-driving cars promise enormous benefits, including greater road safety, increased mobility for people unable to drive for themselves, more convenience for riders who will no longer be burdened with the driving task, a more efficient, less costly transportation system. So at the end of the day, if self-driving cars are as bad as they may seem to those, but they provide so many of these benefits, just as we rely on AI to do most of our work, and AI does do a pretty good job sometimes, I'll say that, then the same technology that we use, the same artificial intelligence that we use to benefit us can also be used for the automobile industry in the future.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with an important reminder. Self-driving cars come with many serious risks. As futuristic and smart self-driving vehicles seem, right now they just aren't ready for real-world situations. First, think about how unpredictable human drivers are. People can suddenly stop, switch lanes without signaling, or check their phones while on the road. These situations happen daily, which require sudden and instinctive moves. While a self-driving car is built to follow the rules, the truth is that the fact is the road doesn't follow a script. It's filled with human error and important split-second decisions. When a person cuts in front of a self-driving car or makes a risky move, the car can't react fast enough, and the delay could be the difference between a close call and a crash. We've already seen this happen, like in the case when a cyclist got hit by a self-driving vehicle. Even more alarming is that Waymo, a leading self-driving car company, had over 130 crashes in just 1 year. That is not the kind of future we want, and is a clear sign that technology is not ready for real-world situation chaos. And then there is the problem with bad weather. These cars rely upon using sensors and cameras to see, but when it rains, snows, or gets foggy, these systems oftentimes fail. Imagine driving in heavy rain and you can still see the lane. Can it detect a person walking across the street? In many cases, the answer is no, and this is very concerning. Even in companies making these cars admit that the weather is still a major problem. And if they aren't so confident, how can we? So here's the truth. Self-driving cars may work in perfect conditions, but the real world is anything but perfect. Roads are full of surprises and are very unpredictable, and the weather is always changing. We can't afford to put trust in technology that struggles with unpredictability. Yes, technology may help us with safety. So next time you ask someone next time someone tells you self-driving cars are the future, I want you to ask yourself, can we trust them today? Because until these cars can prove themselves as foolproof, I don't think they deserve to be behind a wheel. Let's wait until technology is truly ready, because lives are more important than simply convenience. Thank you.